What's up, guys? Adam and Ryan here with Anglers, and we're going to bring you this week's fishing report. So what are you up to out there on the water?
Yeah, so I've been mainly fishing the western rivers in the bay, around the bridge area, local areas. There's been a ton of bait up in the rivers that rockfish are going to chase, especially those slot rockfish. 19 to 24 is what we're mostly catching right now. You can catch them in a lot of ways. You can fish topwater, but the most effective way this time of year I find is like light tackle trolling. I know EJ just did a good video on this, but I have a lure here. This is a tandem lure. It's 3 ounces, so it's got 2 baits basically, so you just double your chances with any sort of like heavier spinning gear or lighter trolling gear is what I like to use for those in the rivers. Severn, Magathie, South, even up the Patapsco has been really good too. And then I also want to talk about perch fishing and pickerel fishing. Perch fishing has still been really good. You can still catch them deep on oyster reefs in the Magathie. You can catch them shallow around docks and pretty much all of the rivers still. That water is still pretty warm. I know it was 79 yesterday when I went out, so that was September 11th. But I like to use the Willow Vibes, and then we also just got this new plastic in from Z-Man, the drop kickers. So putting these two together makes an awesome combo for perch and pickerel. I was perch fishing yesterday with that combo, and I hooked up with like a 24-25 inch pickerel, which it's earlier than I usually catch pickerel, and I don't know that it's going to be consistent right now, but we are starting to get them to bite in the rivers. And then I want to move out to the main bay, talk about that a little bit. Again, bridge area and definitely south is going to be really hot here up in the next coming weeks. Hopefully this water gets a little bit cooler and you'll start to see birds breaking fish and a whole lot of rockfish and bluefish under them. So I like to throw these Castmasters. This is a 1 ounce with the green eel tail on the back of them. That's definitely one of my favorites to throw into breaking fish. So Adam, you want to start off talking about south of the bridge mostly?
Yeah, for sure. So south of the bridge, we still got a lot of really cool stuff going on. I know summer's winding down, but the fishing is picking up. One cool thing that I've been doing a fair amount of recently is flounder fishing. Not too many keepers in the mix. They're mostly undersized, but they're fun to catch, a nice little change up from your typical perch and rockfish and things like that. You can throw a gulp. These are the 4-inch swimming mullets. Throw them on a teaser rig with bucktail on the bottom. Just bounce them, keep them close to the bottom, and you should get some bites. In terms of your perch and your rockfish, they're still around. They're still up shallow. I know Ryan was talking about the open water bite, but they're not all out there yet. You can still find them pushing bait shallow. They're going to be feeding on silver sides, bunker, things like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much every river nowadays. I know you fish the Chop Tank a lot. I fish the Magathie a lot, and the patterns are pretty similar with them pushing bait up shallow.
Yeah, absolutely. And one good thing to imitate that bait is going to be a 3-inch paddle tail. If there's bigger bait that you see or bigger fish around, you can upsize to a 4 or a 5. But I really like a 3 because it gives you the chance to kind of catch everything or anything that's out there.
Yeah, those big perch will still eat those.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of red fishing, there's still plenty of puppy drum around, fair number of slot fish too. Those guys are going to be really keyed in on scent, so you could use something like these bait fuel straight tails. They're really good to twitch just on a jig head or have behind a popping cork. They tend to really attract those red fish. And even more south, the speckled trout too will go after this.
Yeah.
On the freshwater side, if you're fishing sort of on the non-tidal areas of these rivers, smallmouth fishing has been really good. The water's still low, but it's cooling down, so they're feeding pretty heavily. Good thing that I like to throw is this Super Spook Boyo here. It's downsized. It's not going to be as big as the plugs that you would throw in the bay to imitate those big bunker. Here you're imitating smaller bait fish, and like I said, with the cooling temperature, the top water bite in these rivers is really heating up for smallmouth.
Which rivers are you fishing in for those?
Yeah, so the Potomac, the Susquehanna, the Juniata, those are all going to be great places to go try and catch some smallmouth.
Yeah. And then I guess last but not least, let's touch on probably the hottest thing that's going on right now is crabbing.
Oh yeah.
I know even people recreationally fishing with just these like 4-door little traps are getting a bushel,
Oh, yeah.
which is, the limit nowadays, pretty easily of really good sized crabs. So if you kind of have been lacking off on the crabbing this summer, now would be a good chance to get into it. Because everyone's doing really good. I know the Patapsco's been doing really good, as well as the Severn has been pretty hot.
Yeah, and on the note of going south too, some of the rivers down there, like the Chop Tank,
Yep.
they've been really, really good for crabbing. All big crabs,
Yeah.
size number ones, and there's plenty of them out there. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I think
I think that finishes it up for you
that's all we
guys,
got.
and we'll see you next week.